Hello everyone, this video is about Through the Ages, the Civilization theme board game by Vlada Shvatil. I'm going to assume that if you found this video, you're already a fan of the game, so I won't be going over any kind of beginner content or anything like that. But if you are a beginner and you happen to stumble upon this video, there's a lot of good content out there on YouTube that you should check out. Because the game is great. It's a good blend of tactics and strategy, and it's very well designed. All the cards are thematic. The game has a lot of replayability. There's a lot of sources of variance, and there's a bit of luck and a good amount of skill. So in my book, that all makes for a good game that you can play over and over again. And there's a good tutorial on the app too. So I do recommend checking it out. But that aside, I am going to just go into a little more detail. I'm actually going to be speaking on a very fringe subject because this is actually my first video ever. I'm still getting used to having a whole conversation with just myself. It's very strange, but I do want to start off with a small topic, and maybe I'll do a future video on some larger topics. But I'll just quickly introduce myself. I'm a tournament player in this game. You can see I'm Danny Boy 14 here. I play in the International Championship, the Intermezzo Championship, and the World Championship. So I, in addition to having fun playing this game, I want to win, or at least I want to try to win. So I'm just going to go over some strategic considerations that you may discuss when making moves, some tactical considerations, of course. And I'm going to be doing that through the lens of one of the game's least popular cards, and that is the Taj Mahal. Now, why the Taj Mahal? Why one of the least popular cards? I don't know. I think I'm just going to do it because I'll say that I think it does say a lot about this game that the least popular card, I would say this is passed over 90+% of the time in the game. So not a popular card at all. And but I will say that even one of the least popular cards in the game is still very much worthy of analysis. You can talk about the strategic considerations that go into whether to take it or not, and that's basically what this video is going to be about: is whether to take the Taj Mahal or not, if it fits into your game plan. So even though it's one of the least interesting cards, I still think that discussing it is something you might find interesting. All right, so what's the problem with Taj Mahal? Why is it so infrequently picked? I would say that if you wrote a book on Through the Ages, with a very small, let's say you wrote a 1,000-page book, maybe a paragraph would be about Taj Mahal, maybe less, maybe 2 sentences. I'm not really sure. But the problem with this card is that it produces culture. It's good at that. It's good at something that you're not looking to do in Age 1, right? It produces culture too early in the game. Through the Ages, like a lot of other games out there, actually, the focus early in the game is on engine building. In this game, we call it the economy. So, if you are building up your economy earlier rather than focusing on scoring points earlier, that's going to benefit you down the line. So you're improving your ability to score points later in the game. I think that's important in this game. You want to be building up a strong economy whenever possible. And of course, you're going to want to keep up in strength too, and possibly take the strength lead whenever possible. Try to win some strength-related events. But for the most part, producing culture is not on your radar in Age 1. And this is an Age 1 wonder that basically just produces culture. It gives you that extra blue cube, of course, but for the most part, the main benefit is the culture production. And I will actually add the caveat that I am a 3-player and 4-player player. I play in those player counts. I don't play 2-player almost ever. I've only ever played it in the World Championship. So I'm not as familiar with how this card might fit into some of those strategies. I know culture production early is a more viable strategy in general in 2-player, but I'm not sure how Taj Mahal fits into that. I think that might be more of a leader synergy type strategy, but I'll let the 2-player experts weigh in on that. I don't really have an opinion on that. But for 3 and 4-player games, a lot of times this card is not going to be useful. But there is a time when this card is useful, and that's going to be related to this text here. Take a look at it. If you replaced your leader this turn, taking this wonder costs you 2 civil actions less. That kind of makes it viable, right? Because normally in this situation where you see that it's on the card row here in the 1CA slot, it would cost me 2 civil actions to take because I have a wonder, 1 wonder already. But if I replace my leader this turn, I could take it for 0 or for free, as some people say. That is interesting. That, you see my monarchy in this example. I'll just click out of that. So that is like 40% of a turn for free. And if I'm on 4 civil actions, which often you are at this stage of the game, about halfway through age 1, it's like half of a turn for free. So that is an efficient use of your civil actions. And in age 1, a lot of times you are limited by the amount of civil actions you can take. So getting 2 for free is a big deal. So I think when you replace your leader, you do have to at least consider it. And I'm going to go over 3 examples of situations where it is possible for me to take the Taj Mahal for 0 CA. And I'm going to let you decide whether you think it's a good idea, and I'm going to show you whether I did it or not. But first, let's talk about the design of this card. I think maybe what the designer Vlada was going for in this. I'm not a game designer, but I'm just guessing is that well, first of all, it's thematic, right? If you bury your leader in this ornate mausoleum, I suppose, you benefit. You get 2 civil actions out of it. So like a lot of the cards in this game, the gameplay works very well with the theme hand in hand. But I think what he might have been going for is a tactical consideration, whereas you might wait to replace your leader until a turn where you might get the Taj Mahal for free. Maybe you see it at the top of the row and you decide, do I want to delay electing my leader so I could have a better turn next turn where I get the Taj Mahal for free? And I think just in practice that's not really a consideration. The card's just not good enough to play around getting it like that. I think it only makes sense to take it if it falls into your lap. It doesn't really make sense to come up with ways where you can get it. So in that sense, I would say that it has to be, it's like a prerequisite that it has to be 0 civil actions for you to take this. I don't think it's good enough to ever take for 1 or more civil actions, because it's not, I wouldn't call it a wasted action, but it's just not an effective use of your actions when you want to be in age 1 taking actions that are going to keep you competitive in strength, upgrade your science, upgrade your resource production, upgrade your food production, gain more civil actions. Those are all things that are going to be more important than producing culture early. So spending 1 or 2 actions to take the Taj Mahal 99% of the time is not going to be the way you want to go. If you do have an opportunity to take it for 0 civil actions, it's really worth considering. First of all, I think that the main way this card is going to be played, I'd say 80+% of the time. I'm just making up these numbers, but I'm just off the top of my head. I'd say 80+% of the time. The way this card is going to be played is that you take it and then you stash it aside. You kind of forget about it for a few turns, and you focus on upgrading your economy and building up your strength. And then you build the Taj Mahal when it's convenient. You're probably going to take it in age 1 and then be building it in the middle or second half of age 2. I think that's most typically how this is going to be played effectively. There are some situations where you might take it and finish it quickly, but I think those are few and far between. I guess one is if you wind up with a lot of resources early. Like let's say your first tech was iron, but you're still low on science, but you snuck in iron and you started upgrading right away. For some reason, you end up with a lot of resources, low science, and maybe only 4 civil actions. Then you might be finishing a Taj Mahal at some point because you want to take that civil action efficient play, and you want to invest those resources. And a related time, similar but maybe just a little bit different. I don't think iron is a prerequisite for this one. Is if you take it and building it in a subsequent turn, very soon, maybe the next turn, is the only way to get out of corruption. Then I think it's worth building early because it costs you 6 resources effectively instead of 8. Right? You could look at it like that. And then I think it might not be bad to do that. Maybe you got an unexpected influx of resources, either through the AJ events or through winning the border conflict, or new deposits, or something like that, or you won a territory that wealthy territory when you weren't really expecting to do that. Then it might make sense to just build a Taj Mahal right away if you don't have any better options for investing those resources into upgrades. But I think 80% of the time or more, you're going to be taking this and then building it in age 2. And you actually might take it and just decide not to build it. If it doesn't really work into your game plan in the second half of age 2, you could just let it fall off the row. It didn't really cost you anything to take, or disappear with the end of the age. So that's a that could be an effective way to play it. So if there's no obligation to build it, then why wouldn't you just take it and free roll, so to speak, on the opportunity to build it? I think you know the answer to that. It's that you are blocking yourself out of the opportunity to build other wonders while the Taj Mahal is just sitting there on your tableau. So you have to consider what other wonders are in the game and how likely you think it is you'll have an opportunity to go for one, and how well those wonders are going to fit into your game plan. Because usually any other wonder is going to be better than the Taj Mahal, but maybe not so much better that paying civil actions for it is better than getting the Taj Mahal for free. So that's kind of where the art in this game lies, I'd say. A lot of the game is science, and a lot of it is art, for lack of a better word. I'm sure there's something in the Through the Ages lexicon that would better describe that, but just thinking in terms of, I guess part of the art is looking ahead in the game. That's what I would think about art. The science is the tactical considerations, turn to turn. But let's take a look at the wonders in this example. So this is the International Championship from this June, the Grandmaster Division International Championship. And as you can see, if I click this, all of the Age 1 wonders and all of the Age 2 wonders are available. So no wonders have fallen off the row yet. Taj Mahal was the first one out, I think, or Great Wall. Great Wall is going to fall off too. I don't think this is a great turn to go for Great Wall. Because I just don't really have the 2 civil actions to spend. As you can see, I have a lot of blue cubes on my tableau, and I'm going to be wanting to increase population. I'm going to probably build a second lab on this turn. I haven't done that yet, so I'm going to want to go for alchemy. You can see I have 3 important techs in my hand, but not a lot of science production. I do have Aristotle. So taking the Great Wall, I don't think I'm going to have the 2 civil actions to spare here. And also I have knights in my hand. I probably am going to want to go for a knight's tactic if possible. But the other ones, as you can see, obviously Himeji is nice. Machu Picchu is nice with the iron in hand. I think there is a copy. Is there a copy of irrigation? Yeah, both copies of irrigation. So maybe Machu Picchu would work. If you look at the Age 2 wonders, they're pretty decent. There's no ocean liner though. There is a Suez Canal, and there is James Cook. So you could say go for Suez. There's Mandela too, but Harvard College could be nice here. But I am going to go for Leo and Alchemies. I don't know. I don't think I'm too afraid of blocking myself out of these wonders. And, the Suez Canal could be very, very nice in this game. But, if you look, only 1 card has been seeded so far. Been a lot of skipping politics early in this game. So the most colonies that could be in here are a single event that you're guessing whether that's a colony or not. The cartography is not out yet. I don't know who's going to get that. I do have the wealthy territory in my hand here, but I don't know if I'm feeling the colony game necessarily for players. I could go for cartography. I might have the science for that if I'm going to be getting into Leonardo, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to really want to see this wealthy territory. I think if I had a yellow cube colony, I might leave myself the option open for a colony game. Or if I had already seeded any colony, I might leave that open. But I don't think that I necessarily have to say, okay, I have to keep myself open for the Suez in this game. I don't know. What would you do? Do you think that if you replace your leader with Leonardo here, does it make sense to go for the Taj Mahal? Let's see what happens. So I do go for Leo. I'm going to build an alchemy to increase population and get out of corruption. And I do take the Taj Mahal. So if you guessed I was going to take it, you are correct. Whether it was the right play, I'll let you debate that, because I'm not saying that any of these are necessarily the correct play or not the correct play. I think they're all close decisions, but I opted to go for the Taj here. Okay, I skipped ahead in this game to turn 12. So that was turn 5 when I selected the Taj Mahal off the row, and it's turn 12 now, and you can see I'm on PV4's screen here because the first action I'm going to take, I'm going to skip politics, and the first action I'm going to take is building the Taj Mahal right away, and I can't get the replay to not do it before I can pause the video. So just giving you a heads up, I am going to build the Taj in my first action here on turn 12. So I stashed the Taj away for quite a while before building it. As you can see, I have an all age 1 economy here with the irrigations, irons, alchemies, and a lot of age 1 techs. Still on monarchy, and I have warfare. So let's pause for a second. So I'm still on 5 civil actions. So I think that actually makes taking the Taj and finishing it late a good move, because playing in a civil action efficient manner when you have limited amount of civil actions is important. And I did have an opportunity to upgrade my economy before building it. All age 1 techs, it's debatable whether that's the best way to go or not, but that's the way it played out in this game. I don't know if maybe I could have gone for a journalism instead. I didn't really analyze every aspect of this game. I kind of just skipped ahead to this turn where I built it. but it's producing me 3 extra culture now, population free. As you can see, it's gonna help me stay relevant in the culture race. No one's really running away with it right now. Everybody went for the economy upgrades too, as you'd expect in a 4-player game. This game goes 17 turns, so built it on turn 12. So I guess that's 18 culture that it's going to produce me in the end game. That's not excellent, but that's not bad either. That's gonna be a relevant consideration in the final scoring, and I'll leave it up to you to think whether that was worth it. But that is the route I chose to go in this game, and you can see Payada got the cartography. I don't know if he's going for Suez. He just has the 1 colony. Suez is gone. I don't know if anybody built it. So yeah, it just ended up being one of those games where not a lot of events were played. Let's move on to another example. This game is from round 4 of the World Championship. And as you can see, it is the end of Age 1. It's round 6. And the Taj Mahal is available. And there are 5 leaders on the row. So I'm going to want to replace Aristotle. And I'm going to have the opportunity to take the Taj Mahal. A lot of choices for the best way to go. Let's see. I haven't done any economy upgrades yet. Kind of just have the library, and I do have alchemy in hand. But it might be a good opportunity to take the Taj. Let's see what wonders we'd be blocking ourselves out of. All right, so all of the Age 1 wonders are gone. There is no ocean liner once again. There's no Suez, and there's no Harvard College. Those might be the 3 best wonders in 4-player or 3 and 4-player games. I'm not too inspired by this wonder mix. Now, there's opportunities, like the railroad could be very good with coal production. That could be a little bit difficult to get into with all those upgrades and then building the railroad on top of that, although it's definitely viable. But I'm not going to just keep my wonder slot empty just because of that possibility. I'm probably going to get an Age 2 government, so the Kremlin's not going to be as important unless I decide to go for this monarchy here. But I don't think I'm going to be doing that with all these other techs in hand. And the statue could be good if I go with Age 2. Age 2 government, can get me that extra population and work on happiness. But once again, that's not something that you have to, I think, plan around. I think if going for the Taj Mahal tactically here makes sense, I might be going for it. I don't know. What would you do? I'll show you the stats real quick. I don't know if it makes that much of a difference at the end of Age 1 to show this, but you can see my 2 opponents do have wonders under construction already, and they're strength wonders. The Himeji Castle here and the Great Wall. So I am going to want to keep up on strength too. I don't know how to cycle through my cards, but I have 2 tactics here clearly. So let's see what happens. So I go for Leo. Having the Library of Alexandria helps here. It let me get Aristotle's bonus and Leonardo's bonus this turn with that extra hand space. Just a side note. And okay, so you can see I have Legion tactics. So I go for the Swordsman, reveal the Legion, and take the Taj Mahal. This is going to be one of those situations where I don't feel obligated to build it if better opportunities present themselves. But taking it for 2CA is a very civil action efficient play. I don't know, I might get I have good science now. I might get a good amount of science to go for an early Age 2 government, or it might take a while. So I I think going for the Taj does make some sense here. You could decide whether you would do that or not. All right, I moved ahead in the same game to turn 10. And as you can see, I'm now on Republic. So I have a lot of civil actions. So I have a lot more flexibility now. I didn't necessarily need to take the Taj with the way it worked out, but I think it was probably still a fairly decent play. Now I have an engineering genius in hand now too, so that's going to make it pretty easy to build, and I am in fact going to be building it this turn. I'm still on 3 resource production. I think ideally I would go for coal here, but you can see I'm 1 science short, and I just seeded an event. It hasn't been revealed. The actual event hasn't been revealed yet. I think I was going for I was seeding to see if something that gives science, like knowledge of the ancients or scientific breakthrough, would be revealed, and I could go for coal this turn. But going for the Taj Mahal this turn is not so bad either. As you could see, I think I can go for coal next turn. No, I don't. Oh, yeah, this efficient upgrade is on the board here. So yeah, I should be able to finish the Taj Mahal and go for coal next turn. And if there's some other yellow card support in the deck, I might be able to ramp up the coal production pretty quickly. There's not. There's just that one efficient upgrade. But nevertheless, let's see what happens. So no science. I can build the Taj. I get to use that engineering genius, which is important. Take the cannons, take the breakthrough, and the efficient upgrade, hopefully. Yes. All right. So I do end up building it. This game goes 18 turns, so that's what is that, 27 culture? Yeah, so that the Taj is going to produce 27 culture for me in this game. That's pretty good. That's, consider fast food chains, which is usually like 23 or so points. This is 4 more culture than that, and half of the resources. So it only took me 8 resources to go with 27, or to produce 27 culture by the end of the game, versus 16 for usually a smaller amount of culture for fast food chains. It's not an apples to apples comparison, because the early game resources are more important than the last turn resources, because they invest in them kind of snowballs. But I still think it was worth it in this case to get this culture production. I'm behind in culture right now. I wanted to build something that would help me keep up, so that I stay within striking distance as age 3 rolls around. All right, let's look at one more example. This game is a 4-player game from last year's World Championship. And as you can see, it is toward the end of age 1. I have Genghis Khan in hand, and the Taj Mahal is on the row. So if I want to replace Moses this turn, I will have the opportunity to take the Taj. Is it a good idea? Well, let's see what wonders are available. Okay, there's the Silk Road, Great Wall, and Himeji Castle. Let's see. I think the Himeji's falling off. And once again, in this game, there's no ocean liner service. That seems to be a theme with the games we're reviewing. And there's no Harvard College, and there's no Suez Canal. So I think this might be the same mix as in Age 2 as the last game we looked at, or one of the other 2 games at least. These wonders are not that inspiring in this setup, in Age 2 anyway. The Louvre, I think that kind of falls into the category of Taj Mahal, and that it's going to get passed over 90+% of the time. I do like the design of being able to use the resources later on if you need them, to sell your paintings, so to speak. But taking advantage of the Louvre really requires you to have some extra blue cubes lying around. It doesn't happen in every game. And then, the railroad is not as effective with iron, although it still can be plenty good. Kremlin could be decent if we go for an age 1 government especially, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be doing that in this game. So I don't know. Let's see what happens and decide for yourself if you would go for the Taj Mahal if you replace your leader this turn. Okay, so I pop with Moses, go for Genghis Khan, build a warrior, reveal the phalanx, take swordsman and alchemy, and do I go for the Taj? No. Okay, so what's going on here? Did I just overlook the possibility of taking the Taj? No, not in this case. I have been known to make some mistakes like that, some oversights. I've quite a few times skipped politics just to see what would happen in the turn before I seeded an event, and then forgot to go back and seed, just as an example. But no, in this case, not taking the Taj Mahal was a conscious decision. And the reason for that, even though the Age 2 Wonder mix is not that inspiring, I think if it was just talking about the Age 2 Wonders, I think I might actually take it, because I am on low civil actions and I don't foresee that improving anytime in the near future. So taking the civil action efficient play, it would be beneficial, I think, to my chances of winning. But there's something else going on here, and that is the opportunity to take the Great Wall. I think the Great Wall could be a great wonder for me in this game. I am going to be on all warriors or swordsmen for a while with Genghis Khan. And I'm going to get that strength bonus. And look at the way the card row is falling off. Next turn should be the last turn in Age 1 for me. And having that second happy face that the Great Wall provides will be very welcome. I won't have to worry about grabbing this theology or bread and circus. Maybe I will anyway, but I don't know if I'm going to get those. And the Great Wall will solve two problems at once for me, and that's the happiness going into Age 2 and the strength in this game. As you can see, the strength totals are actually not that intimidating right now, but look at the leaders. Those are all military leaders, and the event deck just flipped. I think it just flipped for the first time, yeah. So I actually expect some strength events to be in there. I honestly don't know what I seeded. I didn't look. Did I seed anything? No, I'm in last position. I probably didn't. And that's a good point too. If you don't consider strength first and foremost when you're in last position in a 4-player game, you can get crushed pretty badly. These are all very good opponents, and they're gonna take any little edge you give them. And I think, hold on a second. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. Yeah, what I was saying is these. If you ignore strength, you ignore strength at your peril in last position in a 4-player game. I don't even think I have to elaborate on that. You can get hit by quite a lot of events in a row in a single turn, and if it's aggressions, that's even worse. And I can already just feel the strength race brewing with these leaders. As you can see, I'm leaving knights for Danio. He has Frederick Barbarossa. He might be able to build knights quite cheaply. He's got the happy faces he needs. Vika, there's another copy of knights in the deck, I believe. Yeah, there's 2 copies of knights remaining. If he gets the other copy, which he probably will, I'm not going to be reaching with Genghis Khan. I'm already having swordsmen. I'm not going to be reaching for the last copy of knights. That's a very good combination with Jan Ziska. And the last thing to consider is my leader bonus. I get 3 culture for every turn I end where I'm one of the 2 strongest. And taking the Taj Mahal and investing in that instead of a wonder that's going to improve my strength when I can't get any more population out, like the Great Wall, that's not going to make any sense, right? I'm kind of trading, or I'm gaining 3 culture production at the expense of losing 3 culture production. It doesn't really make any sense. That is a net benefit of 0 for several turns while I have Genghis Khan. So I'm basically going to want to have the option open to take a wonder that fits my overall strategy and synergizes with my leader. And in this case, taking the Taj is too big of a price to block myself out of being able to take the Great Wall. Oh man, this video has gone on for much longer than I thought it was going to. So I'll wrap it up here. I think there's just a couple of other things I want to say, and that's Taj Mahal actually has good synergies with the Age A happiness wonders, especially Hanging Gardens. You might want to consider Taj Mahal a little more closely if you have the Hanging Gardens, and to a lesser extent the Colosseum and the Stonehenge. And that's because of the Ravages of Time event, of course. If Ravages comes out, you can easily just destroy the Taj Mahal instead of your Hanging Gardens. And it's still a bad event for you. It's you go from 3 culture production to 2 culture production, but it's not as catastrophic as losing 2 happy faces can be. So you can sort of, if you get this, it allows you to sort of play your game plan with confidence, knowing that your Hanging Gardens is not going to get ravaged. And the last thing I'll say about it is it's good to have the Taj Mahal hanging around if you get one of those annoying turns where you have nothing to do, really. You sort of you don't have the science to go for upgrades. Your hand might be full. If you foresee that coming, it might be a good idea to err on the side of grabbing the Taj. And in general, like a low science, low CA build where you have a lot of resources, that's a good board state for you to consider taking the Taj Mahal. All right, I think that's it. Like I said, the video went on quite a while. I'll wrap it up. Thanks for listening. Good luck. Have fun. Enjoy your Through the Ages games, and have a good day. Take care. Bye.